Jennifer Smith here from Hidden Garden Oasis. Today's class is all about catnip, and I know most people think, well, isn't that for cats? Yes, a lot of people use it for cats. Kind of makes them go a little crazy, and then they fall asleep. But catnip is also a medicinal plant, a medicinal herb for us humans. It is a nervine, and as you know, we talked all about the nervous system, and that is the theme for the month of April. And April subscription box is to support your nervous system. We've talked about a lot of nervine herbs already, like last month in the sleep and relaxation box. So you can go back and you can watch those classes on those herbs, as well as the overview of the sleep health and the importance of sleep. And then the class for this month, which is all about your nervous system. Last week we did a class on St. John's wort. All my classes are free. You can watch them on YouTube, the Hidden Garden Oasis Facebook page, the group I set up which is a public group called Natural Healing Community, and that is for people who are both holistic practitioners, an herbalist, or herbalism students, or just, you want to do kitchen herbalism for yourself and your family. Check out my classes. They're all free. There's a lot of them now at this point. And I do free classes once a week. We switch gears last month, and I'm doing like a general class and then 3 classes on a specific herb that supports whatever the topic is, and then the last week of the month is off. I was actually sick so this month, so everything kind of got shifted. So I did the main class, and then we went ahead and skipped a week, and then I did St. John's wort last week. So we're doing catnip this week. Next week is going to be skullcap, and then we'll start the process all over with a new theme. When I figure out what I'm going to do, we might do like herbal first aid. I'll let you know. Stay tuned. But subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hidden Garden Oasis. Like the pages, follow me to stay up to date with everything. So let's get into it. Again, tonight's class is all about catnip. Let's find out what the benefits are and the any contraindications, and see if it's something that would be great for you. I personally drink it in the Divine Nervine tea, which I also have available on the website. We'll go over that at the end. And it helps me tremendously. So you just need to try it and learn about it and see if it's something that would fit in your daily routine. Let's get to learning. All right. So as usual, we usually start with the energetics, and I always give a brief explanation of what energetics are, because this may be your first class, or maybe you don't remember. So we, as individuals, as people, same with animals, because we are talking about catnip, so it does certain herbs. Most herbs actually are really good for animals as well, but that can be a whole nother class talking about animals and herbalism for animals. That could be a whole nother career choice for people if they want to do that. But so we as living beings have energetics. Plants as living things have energetics. And then you have conditions that have energetics. So say your skin tends to be dry and you're one of those people who are cold all the time. So your energetics would be drying and cold. Okay? Then say an example for an herb, it may have energetics such as catnip, which is cooling, slightly warming, drying, pungent, and bitter. That has actually a lot of energetics. And then you can have a condition, like say a very say you're very congested, you have a fever, you have a cough that produces things. So then that's going to be moistening because you're coughing up stuff. And if you have a fever, you'll be running warm. So basically, the point is, in Western herbalism, you want to try to get a balance. So if you run dry and cold, you want warming and moistening herbs. Same with a condition. So that's what energetics are. You're trying to balance yourself out to get back to homeostasis, which is the way your body's supposed to function on a normal day-to-day basis. So again, the energetics for catnip are cooling, slightly warming, drying, pungent, and bitter. And we already know, if you have watched any of my classes, anytime you see bitter in there, you know that your digestive system is going to be affected by the herb. And we'll get into that in a moment. All right, the parts that we use medicinally. That would be the leaves, the stems, and the flowers. So this is not one where you would use the roots and then you'd end up killing the plant. So this is something that you can use the aerial parts, that's what it's called, aerial parts. The leaves, the stems, the flowers, anything above the ground. Preparations. Just like most herbs, you can usually prepare them all pretty much the same way. However, there's a couple on here that wouldn't be used in other situations, such as a smoking blend or an incense. Smoking blends are usually herbs that can help your lungs in some way. Mullein is a good one that is a good smoking herb. But other preparations that you can use catnip for would be like a tea, a tincture. That's when you add alcohol or like an apple cider vinegar to help extract the constituents of the plant, the good medicinal parts of it, and then you strain it and you put it in a dropper bottle and use drops of it as needed. A glycerite, which is pretty much a little bit different. Glycerite, you would use the herb with vegetable glycerin and distilled water, because you need to water it down to pull the constituents out of it, and then again strain the plant matter out, and then again put it in the dropper bottle and use it when needed. A poultice, that's when you say you are outside in your yard, or if you're hiking or something and you have a need for it, you can wet the plant material or the plant that you find, the leaves usually, either with your saliva or water, and put them directly on the affected area. Smoking blend, you would roll it up and put it in a paper like you would like a homemade cigarette kind of a situation, to smoke it, put it in a pipe and smoke it, anything like that. You can mix it with other herbs to get the medicinal effects out of it and other ones that might go well with it. And then incense, which is on my to-do list, to learn how to make my own incense. I love incense. I burn it all the time in all the rooms. And I grew up with a hippie mom, so I love incense. So those are some of the preparations and a brief overview of how to make them. However, I do have classes where we do make tincture, we do make a glycerite. Oh, there was one more on here, capsules. Now capsules, you can powder down the herbs once it's dry and put them in capsules. I have available on my website, Hidden Garden Oasis, tea blends, tinctures, glycerites, capsules, all on there. And we'll talk about the one specific to catnip and our theme for the month, which is the nervous system, and the subscription box towards the end. Herbal actions. This is the important one. So these are the medicinal or scientific words, what the plant actually, what catnip actually will help in your body, will help do in your body. So it is a diaphoretic, and a diaphoretic, I'm pretty sure you guys might have heard that word before. So that will help basically release excess, help clean you out, I guess you could say. Excess urine, might make you pee more, and helps get any toxins out of your system. It is an antispasmodic, which will help with any kind of muscle spasms or spasms in your gut or colon or tremors, anything like that, any spastic condition. Antitussive, that means anybody who's ever taken cough medicine over the counter, you see it'll say Atussive or Robitussin, something like that with a tuss in it. That will help you get any mucus out of your lungs, help you cough that stuff up if you're sick. Antiviral, that's self-explanatory, helps fight against any kind of viruses, internal or external. It is a sedative and a nervine, which those kind of really work well together, and that is pretty much the reason why it's on the list underneath the nervous system for this month. So it will help relax your nervous system and help relax you, which is why it's a sedative, and help you possibly, if you use it in some kind of a tea blend or capsule at night, help you get to sleep. It is our carminative, and it is will help you, say you have a fever and you need to get it sweated out, and it is a digestive herb and a menagogue, so it's a digestive herb and it's a carminative, so basically it will help you with gas. So instead of tooting, you'll be burping, and it'll help move things through your digestive tract. And it is a menagogue, which means it helps move blood through your system, which is why when we get to the contraindications, you'll understand, and I'll bring it up again, why it's contraindicated for certain people. So those are the big fancy words. Now, after we talk about the herbal actions, we're going to break it down even further and talk about the uses. So specifically, oh, I went too far. Okay. So specifically, here are some conditions. Now, I've said before, there's a huge difference between naturopathic and allopathic medicine. So traditional medicine, you go to the doctor because you have these symptoms. They do tests and they treat those symptoms. Naturopathic medicine and herbalism, we try to get to the root cause of something. However, but because we have been raised and taught to look at conditions and how to treat conditions, it does help break it down specifically like I'm doing now, not just the herbal actions, but specific conditions that you might use it for. However, you do want to try to get to that root cause. That's the whole point. So that you can stop it before you start having these symptoms, or maybe lessen the symptoms. All right, so it is a relaxing nervine, so it relaxes your nervous system. We talked about that already. It helps with your upper respiratory system. It helps with colds and flus. Those kind of go together. Same with the next one. Loosens congestion, your sinuses, your lungs, break that stuff up. It helps to break a fever and encourages sweating, so you can break the fever. Now, remember that fevers are not bad. They're only bad if they get too high, then they can do damage. So if you have 100, 101 fever, you really would not want to try to stop that fever because it's trying to fight off whatever bacterial or viral infection that you have going on in your body. you need your body to fight. You need your white cells to come to battle for you and fight that off. Now, what you would do if you have like that low fever and you do want to feel more comfortable, depending on what it is, you want to drink some teas or maybe use some herbal chest rub, stuff like that, maybe a shower steamer. But that low grade fever is fighting your virus and your bacterial infection. Now, if we're talking like 103 fever, or, 102, 103 fever, you definitely have to get that fever down, because if it gets too high, you're looking at cerebral seizures. You're looking at damage to your brain, and so you just have to make sure you keep an eye on it. If you are sick, of course, make sure you have a thermometer handy, and just keep an eye on it. It also helps with, it is a mild sedative, so it helps with sleep issues like insomnia, and because it also is an antispasmodic on top of it, it could help with people who have any kind of like restless leg syndrome or anything like that as well. It helps. This is a very mild herb, so it even helps with babies with colic, or even any kind of issues that a baby may have as far as sleep. And I'm not saying use this herb to knock your baby out. No, not at all. I'm saying that if they're having issues with gas, colic, anything like that, and it's keeping them from getting a good night's rest or anything like that, it's definitely mild enough for that. It's also very mild, so elderly people can use it, people who are on medications. It is well versatile as far as any kind of age or anything like that. It also helps with cramps, and because it's an antispasmodic, it's not just menstrual cramps, it's also muscle cramps, anything like that. Like I said before, it is a digestive herb, so it helps with moving gas, and it helps with getting everything moving through your gastrointestinal system. Sorry, I blinked for a moment. Your system. And then it does help with anxiety and stress. And for menopausal or perimenopausal people, or women, I should say, it helps with the anxiety and stress that's associated with that. Same with hot flashes, night sweats. And I know that kind of doesn't really go with what we were just talking about, but it does help with staph infections as well. So it's good to know what you can use in like staph infections, or like infections like MRSA and stuff like that, antibiotic resistant infections. You have to go about it a different way, and using herbal medication instead of just hopping on the bandwagon of let's go straight for an antibiotic. I believe personally, and I know I'm not the only one out there that believes this, but antibiotics are overused. Antibiotics are overused, and because they're being overused, and same with even just over-the-counter antibacterial hand sanitizers, stuff like that, because they're overused, that's why we're getting things like antibacterial, or antibiotic, I keep saying antibacterial, antibiotic resistant strains out there. So soap and water, warm soap and water, washing your hands, singing the alphabet if you're teaching your little ones how long they're supposed to wash their hands for. Doing that often is actually all you really need. When you start getting all that extra stuff in there, you're creating other viruses and other strains that will not respond to the medication when you need it, and then it gets really bad. All right, next, go. Now, contraindications. Well, as I said, this is a pretty safe herb, Everybody can use it, from babies to the elderly. If you have conditions, if you're on pharmaceuticals or not, everybody can use it. However, if you are pregnant or wanting to become pregnant, you should avoid using catnip internally. And that means drinking it, taking a capsule, tinctures, glycerites, because, like I was saying earlier, it is an emmenagogue and it helps get blood moving. And of course, you don't want that when you are pregnant or trying to get pregnant. So that is the only contraindication really for catnip. However, it is not contraindicated for breastfeeding mothers. Actually, it is encouraged to some extent, because when you are taking everything you take in when you are pregnant, when you're a breastfeeding mother, is going to go to your baby. And like I said, it was safe for babies, and it helps with colic. So if you're breastfeeding your baby and you drink catnip tea, then you're helping your baby to hopefully get that gas moving so they don't become colicky and crying and all of that. So that is something that you may not know. Synergies. And synergies is, wrong button. Synergy is herbs that work well together, pair nicely. So elderflower, if you pair catnip with elderflower, that's good for fevers, reducing fevers. If you pair catnip with St. John's wort, it's good for conditions like ADHD, restlessness. If you pair passion flower with catnip or skullcap, which we're talking about next week, it helps for sleep support. And then you can pair catnip with fennel for digestive issues. They pair nicely together. All right, harvesting and cultivation. So catnip is a perennial. It is part of the Lamiaceae family. Actually, I want to show you. I didn't show you this one. But here is what catnip looks like. It's a beautiful flower, and we'll get into detail on how you can identify it in the wild. But the Latin name is Nepeta cattleya, and it is from the Lamiaceae family, and everyone knows that's the mint family, and they are not invasive, but they are spreaders. So if you grow catnip, same with other members of the mint family like peppermint, spearmint, lemon balm. Just ask my yard. It's full of lemon balm because the storm knocked over my pot. Rosemary. If you're growing anything from the Lamiaceae family, the mint family, you need to have it in its own container. And might I suggest that if it's going to storm, move the pot to the ground, because the storm will knock it over, and then you'll be like me and have an entire front yard full of lemon balm. I won't be running out for a while, let me put it that way. Okay, let's see. Let me go back to where we were. Alright, harvesting and cultivation. So it is a perennial, is in the mint family, so make sure you have it in its own pot. If you grow it outside, you are going to have every single stray and neighborhood cat come knocking at your door. So if you don't want that, only grow it inside. That's where I grow it. So just so you know, if you want more cats at your door, by all means, grow it outside in a pot. Your prerogative. So it grows very easily. It grows easily from seed as well. And because it is in the mint family, it has these square stems. So it has 4 sides on the stem. So that is usually how you can tell something is in the mint family. And the leaves grow in alternating pairs. So you can have one set that are facing north-south, and then the next pair will be east-west, and they will alternate back and forth. The leaves are a light gray color, and the they're, I'm trying to read what I wrote. I'm sorry. It says scalloped leaves up to. It looks like I did not have the number lock on when I wrote that. So the leaves can grow to about 3 inches long. I remembered it in my head, thank goodness. And here, I'll put that in there for you. And the flowers are cone shaped, and they look like little mouths almost. And they are light purple flowers, native to the Middle East, but because of people traveling from country to country, they are found worldwide in different areas. And then that last note is what I've already said. So I will show the picture again. See? You can't really see if I can make it bigger for you. So they're purple flowers, and they almost look like little mouths. And then the leaves, or the stems, are squared, and the leaves are like this light grayish green color. So the best picture in the world. There you go. It's a little bit better. And that's what it looks like. I'm sorry, I need a drink. Now, it's not on the slide, but I'm going to share some history and folklore with you. So there is a version of an old adage regarding the relationship between cats and catnip. And it's, if you set it, the cats will eat it. If you sow it, the cats don't know it. So basically, it's a folk myth that suggests that when plants are grown from seeds or sown, that's what the sown is, from seeds, that the cats don't bother it. That the cats don't bother the plant, but when they are transplanted, cats will destroy it. So what I'm guessing, it's because when you uproot it and replant it, the attraction to the plant, the cats are like really curious about it, and then they smell it and they attack it and destroy it. So, and then with cats too, they can have, different cats can have different reactions to it, just like different people can have different reactions to different herbs. So for some cats, it puts them to sleep. For other cats, it winds them up. And then for yet others, it'll wind them up and then it'll knock them out. So, they can have different reactions to it just like people can. And then, let's see. So catnip is actually indigenous to multiple indigenous Native American groups. The Hoh, the Delaware, Iroquois tribes all used it for different, for their children, for different childhood reasons, illnesses. As I said, it does work for colic, and it works for gas issues, works for sleep issues and anxiety issues. Well, there's something else I wanted to read. Okay. I actually broke it down here. They use it for irritability, sleeplessness. Europeans used it. The Spanish used it. Like I said, it has traveled all around the world. It is pretty easy to grow. And if you are into herbs and the planets and all of that, the planet is Venus, the element is water, and the polarity is yin. And magical, if you're into that. It's believed that when one holds catnip in their hand until it is warm, and then holds someone else's hand, that person will become one's friend, as long as the catnip is used to keep safe. I don't do the magical thing, but I know a lot of people do. So I thought I'd add that in there because I had it this time. Alright, so moving forward. Available products. Okay, so on my website, Hayden Garden Oasis, the subscription box for the month of April is the nervous system support. So it is $49.99 every month if you want to do a different box, if you want to do the subscription. If not, after the month is over, I do put it under individual boxes, so you can just buy just that 1 month's box. But if you do the subscription box, you can use the promo code BOX1 and receive $10 off. So it's a $49.99 box minus the $10, so it makes it $39.99 plus shipping. However, the value inside each box is usually about $100, sometimes more, that you're getting already. So it's almost like you're getting it for half off as it is, and then you get another $10 off. So this month's box, and you can buy the items separately as well if you don't want the whole box and you only want certain things. So you have the St. John's wort oil, you have the lemon balm drops, and then there is the calming glycerite, the divine nervine herbal tea, and the calming sleep herbal tea, which the herbal teas also come with disposable tea bags if you want to do it that way, or like me, I actually have different things that I use to steep my tea, but it's up to you. I do give you the tea bag just in case, 2 different sizes. Also, each and every one of my products come with a flyer that tells you exactly what's in it, why it's good for you. So I make sure that you know exactly what you're getting. Everything is all natural. If you are somebody who is in need of coaching or a plan to get yourself on a more holistic naturopathic way of life, and you want help with that, or if you need an individualized formulation because you're on different medications, if you are somebody who has been to multiple doctors and they cannot seem to find anything that is wrong with you, but you still have these symptoms, you can go on my website, you can schedule a free consultation, we can talk, we can come up with something, and we can go from there. I mean, it is a free consultation. Just go on my website and you can schedule it from there. I'll be happy to talk to you. All right. And then the last slide. There you go. I am on all kinds of social media. You can watch the classes on the Hidden Garden Oasis, on the study group or the Natural Healing Community Facebook page. I have the website. I have Instagram, YouTube. You can watch classes on YouTube too. Like and subscribe. I recently just joined TikTok, but I have not had that. I don't have it figured out yet. So you can send me an email. You can send me a message on any of the social medias. Here's my email address, Jennifer Smith at Hidden Garden Oasis. nervinehealth.com. My phone number, text me, call me, leave me a message. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. If you want to schedule a free consultation, I'll be happy to talk to you, see what we can do to get you going. All right. And if nobody has any questions, I don't know. I just got a message. Let's see. Nope. Okay. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And as always, thank you so much for allowing me to help you on your natural healing journey. Enjoy the rest of your week. Skull Cap next week. Bye.